Hey guys, it's Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm wrapping up Contemporary-A-Thon. So Contemporary-A-Thon was a week. I didn't read as much as I wanted to, and I'm glad that I actually did get to read some things because it was a really stressful week. It wasn't stressful, it was more hectic, and I didn't think I was going to have any time to read, but I got some reading done. So I read 3 books for Contemporary-A-Thon, and I completed 4 challenges. It's not all the books I wanted to read, but it's okay, I'll get to them eventually. So the first book I read was Always the Bridesmaid by Lindsay Kelk. This book is about this girl named Maddie who is an events planner assistant. She's just been asked to be a bridesmaid for her best friend, and her other best friend is also going to be a bridesmaid, but she's going through a divorce at the same time. So Maddie is trying to help both of her friends, one plan a wedding, one get over a marriage. She's also trying to get a promotion at work, plus there's 2 boys who are vying for her attention. So Maddie is spreading herself very thinly between everything that's going on in her life, but in the end, you know it's going to work out. So I thought Always the Bridesmaid was going to be a 27 dresses scenario, but it was more like Bridget Jones' Diary, because first of all, it is set in Britain, and then you also have the 2 love interests. So one is the Hugh Grant character, who's a bit of a prick, and the other one is the Colin Firth character, who's a bit awkward. And Maddie is just head over heels for the Hugh Grant character until she finds out he is a dickhead, and then she falls in love with the Colin Firth character. But it's very weird. It was super insta love between Colin Firth and Maddie, because I don't think they've had maybe 3 or 4 conversations, and then the guy was just like, I think I might be in love with you. And I'm like, what? How? What? Plus the 2 guy characters have tension because they knew each other back in the day, and Colin Firth's girlfriend had slept with Hugh Grant at the time, and it was just Bridget Jones' Diary, but in book form, and where Bridget Jones is an event planner instead. So I gave Always a Bridesmaid 3 out of 5 stars, and it completed the challenge read a book with a picture on the spine. So the next book I read, I actually listened to, and that was Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is probably my least favorite TJR book. I've read 4 of them now, and I think I still need to read After I Do, and she's got another one. And I wasn't a fan of Elsie. I'm not sure if it's because I couldn't relate to her or if it's just her character, but she was just a little bit whiny, and I understand her husband just died, but still, it was, I don't know, I'm probably just overreacting. So Forever Interrupted is about this girl called Elsie whose love is like a supernova with her husband, Tom. It's not Tom, can't remember his name. A really unfortunate accident happens, and Elsie's husband dies while they've only been married for 10 days. So while they're at the hospital, and Elsie's trying to say, I'm his next of kin, she meets his mum. And I know what you might be thinking, hang on, they've been married, but she's never met his mum. That's right, they only met 6 months ago, and she has never met his mum, and his mum has no idea who Elsie is. I loved how the flashbacks in this book related to the now chapters. I really did love the relationship with the mother, Susan. Her and Elsie, they understood each other, because when Susan, I think 20 years ago, Susan's husband died, and now Elsie's husband has died. So Susan really doesn't have anyone left, but her and Elsie really connect in that way, and I really enjoyed how their relationship grew. Another really amazing relationship I liked that Elsie had was with Mr. Callahan. He was this old gentleman that would come to the library every day. He was so cute, and I loved how he took her out for lunch and just helped her understand that it's okay to grieve, but you don't you need to move on, but take your time. And I loved Mr. Callahan. Yeah, I loved him. I do understand that this grief is a really tricky subject to write about, but it was good to see that Taylor Jenkins Reid really doesn't care what anyone thinks, and she will write about what she wants. She likes to like not overstep her boundaries, but she likes to push her boundaries, and I love that for her. I love how the things she writes about is just awesome. She's becoming a favorite author. I think she is one of my favorite authors, and I cannot wait to see what else she brings out. One thing I did realize that Forever Interrupted is an older book for Taylor Jenkins Reid. She has a very different writing style than she did then. My first book was Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that is nothing like any of her other books. I think that's another reason why I wasn't a fan of Forever Interrupted, because I have read Seven Husbands and I know how good she is an author, but I still am really glad that I read this book, and like I said earlier, I will read anything that Taylor Jenkins Reid writes. So I think I gave Forever Interrupted 3 or 4 out of 5 stars, and this was for the challenges. Read a blurple book, and this book is blue on the cover, and also read your most recent purchase. This wasn't a recent purchase, this is just the most recent book that I had saved on my Scribd playlist. And the last book I read for Contemporary-A-Thon was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm so blessed that I received an ARC from NetGalley, and I screamed when I saw that email, and I read it for Contemporary-A-Thon. Loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. It's not the 5-star level of Evelyn Hugo, but it's up there. I love Daisy Jones. I love how Taylor Jenkins Reid writes unlikable characters, but you can't help but love them. And that's what Daisy and Billy was like that for me. So this book is actually not written in your normal novel-like book. It's actually written like an interview. It was different. Once you get over the fact, you love it. Like, I think 2 pages in, I'm like, no, I can do this. I love this. It's a really good insight to rock and roll. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid must have done a lot of research, because it felt like Taylor Jenkins Reid knew she was documenting it at the time, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. One character I really loved is Warren. So Warren is the drummer, and every time he spoke, he just made me laugh out loud, and I would laugh so hard, and my husband is telling me that I should just go marry this Warren guy if I think he's so funny. I loved the chemistry between Daisy and Billy, but I hated the miscommunication. You all know miscommunication and not talking to each other is my most hated trope, and I know it's like full of story, but it was just like, you don't need it to just... I will have a full review coming for this book later on, probably closer to when Daisy Jones and the Six comes out. But I loved it. I want to read it again straight away, and I can't wait to read the final copy. So that's my wrap up for Contemporary-A-Thon. I want to thank all of the hosts and everyone for creating it, and I'm so glad that I competed. Feel like it's like a race, but I'm glad that I joined. I'm glad that I read 3 books in a week, which is not very often for me. I will link my vlog for Contemporary-A-Thon up above and down below, so you can watch my live reactions to what I'm reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Add me on Goodreads at sashreads and on Bookstagram at sashreads as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye!